have the Asian people. And what are they? They're mixed Edomites and mixed Asiatic people, Central Asia. So what do they look like? They look like this. But some of them, they look like this, like Turkish people. And then you have, let me see, this one here. And then you have the Asiatic type ones. See, they start to look Asiatic, but they mingle with each other, these people. Because Esau always loved the Asiatic, and the Asiatic always loved the Edomites. So we're going to get them together and punch them together. You know, we're going to beat them in pieces and together. Because they love one another. So they have to hold hands while they're dying. And I'm going to make them hold hands out of anger. And they need to love each other even in death. And I saw this story because I made a video about it. Racism in this region over here. Because believe it or not, these people don't see dark skinned people over there neither. These type of people, these ones, these types are there too. These types, you know, they don't like us, bro. That's what I'm telling you. Like, don't think that you're beloved in this planet Earth. You're not. You're not. You go to the Asiatic people. It's not these. Not even Chinese and Japanese. By the way, the Mongolians, they hate Chinese people. They hate them. And the Chinese, they dislike Japanese. And the Japanese, they dislike the South Koreans. And the North Koreans, they dislike South Koreans also. You know, but they do business with China. Yeah, but Central Asia travel guide. Yeah, I saw a travel guide for dark skinned people too, which is that thing that I just clicked on actually. Okay, I clicked it away. Don't see it no more. Yeah, this one. Racism. They're gonna give you a traveling guide. I'm not going there anyway. If I get there, I'm gonna get that power, and I'm gonna fly over there. I'm not walking. I'm not taking no damn plane. I'm gonna go over there, and I'm gonna land. And I'm gonna land. No. Is it this one? Yeah, that's it. See that earth shattered? That's how I'm gonna land over there. Yeah, probably on somebody's head. Got me out here thinking I'll be making death threats. I'm not making threats. Second Esdras chapter 16, verse 11. The Lord shall threaten, and who shall not be utterly beaten to powder at his presence. And his presence is going to be Joel chapter 2, verse 22. And ye shall know that I am in the midst of Israel. That's his presence. And that I am Yahweh, your power, and none else. And my people shall never be ashamed. You might think like, well, we are ashamed. Yeah, not as a whole nation. Like, yeah, to a certain degree we are, but not when he's with us. You know, because I've seen a lot of people are ashamed. Look at you. What makes you ashamed of being black? They actually are ashamed of being black. And that's why some of them go get that caucus female or get that caucus male to wither themselves, to sneak themselves out of being us, being themselves. Trying to get that cheap code. And I didn't say cheat. I said cheap. This. Cheap code. Like a cheap flight to Amsterdam, you're going to get a crappy plane. You're going to get a crappy plane if you want to get that cheap flight to England or something like that. Real small, crappy plane. Shakes real quick. Start having a heart attack just by the shaking of the plane. Yeah. And it's very cheap too. You know, $58. 58 euros to go to Dublin, which is Ireland? Yeah. Ireland is cheap. You can go to England here. Let me see. Oh, Ireland is here, and you can go to England for like 29 euros. If you go from here, you fly. It's an hour. Here is think of 2 hours or something like that. Here it's like 2 hours or something like that. Kind of, it's kind of cheap. It's not that expensive. All over the place you can go here. It's not that expensive. But if you want to take a more expensive flight, then it's gonna cost you a little bit more. So yeah, but you're cheap. Well, I think I need to eat, but yeah, these people are there. Like I said, you got the Asiatic type of people, and they're living amongst the Edomites. They're interbreeding with them. Let me see if I can show them if their faces. Look at this guy over here. Got a face only a mother could love. But you can see that they mixed with Edomites and stuff like that, This guy, you can see a little bit Asiatic within him and stuff like that. This one, you can see a little bit Asiatic within him. The nose and stuff like the eyes, of course. And my point of showing you these things is to show you that they hate your guts. They hate your guts over there, They even these type of places, Kazakhstan and stuff like that, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, and all that there type of Tajikistan, Kyrgyzstan. Yeah, Kazakhstan. Kazakhstan. Yeah, you got these type of people over there. The Asiatic ones and the Edomite type of ones and stuff like that. And you would never think that these people were there, but yeah, you gotta look up. You know what you need to do for sometimes. I do it sometimes when I just want to learn. I just click a country. And then I look at the people. That's what I do. And that's what I do. I could do that for hours or something. Sometimes I could do it for hours. I could do it like this. It's better than going on Facebook and doing that dumb stuff. Keep on how you call that thing? Looking on a never-ending thing, or on TikTok. I don't do that nonsense, but I learn nothing. It's only stupid things that you. Let me see. You see things like this. Romanian people, then you look at them, you be like, oh, so that's where they come from. So you start to understand what a gypsy actually is. These gypsies are from Egypt, India, and another one. Egypt, India, Romania. They came from They came from here, South Asia, and then they started migrating into Europe. They came from India. Here's India. They came from this region, and then they started to migrate. But they also came from Egypt, and then they started to live all over the place and stuff like that. These people are literally travelers. Oh yeah, this is the thing that I'm looking for here. The map that I'm looking for, actually. This is what I want. Here. These places are where they all are, and they have like a few versions of them. Calais, they call themselves. Manouche. You have the West Calais or something like that. You have the F Calais, the Finnish one, the Welsh one. You have the Iberian ones, which is Iberia is actually Hebrew. We was here, and here we was here. Iberian Peninsula, which is Spain. Ibar. That's where we were, because the Moors had a whole establishment over here. So we were there. So some of our people intermingled with them, of course, but they're also Elam, these so-called gypsies. Gypsies are Elam. They're East Indians, these type of people. And then if you go, for example, on where you need to go also sometimes for information, you need to go to individual person on places like, what is this website called again? query, something like that. It starts with a Q, where you can ask questions and stuff like that, right? And then you will see that a lot of these people, they're angry because they do not want to acknowledge that they come from India. The gypsies come from India. There's a tribe in India that has, let me see, Romani people. Okay, they're Indian, and this is not Asia. This is not Esau. Aryans are East Indian. That's them. It's not no Esau. Esau stole that one also. They call themselves the Aryan race. Yeah, that's not them. That's not them, bro. They're lying to you. But you have a group of gypsies in there, and they clothe themselves the same way as how Romani people, they clothe themselves the same in Latin America. Here, they're also here. This one, Latin America. They have them too. Look at the clothing. They always have dresses on. That's just crazy. Always got dresses on. They were here in the Netherlands also. Their women have always dresses on, and it looks pretty actually. All these weird colors and stuff like that. You know, it's beautiful, and a lot of them are brown. A lot of them are brown, and they look East Indian. They're in Brazil, Angola, Cape Verde. They look like East Indians sometimes, and sometimes they don't. Sometimes they look a little bit, you know, like Turkish people, but they're not. Like this one, this guy look like a Turk, but they're actually gypsies. They look Turkish sometimes, but that's because they're kind of mixed up with that East Indian type of thing, and Esau a little bit. So you just look up things, and you know, things that are interesting, and you just look them up instead of just looking at stupid funny videos. And they always often live in messed up places, and all of them have children when they're young. They always walking around with children. It's like they always walking around with children. Don't matter where they live. Sometimes, of course, they live in a lot of messed up places and stuff like that, like this and stuff like that. And they're like stealing because they're trying to survive, and all their type of stuff. You know, look like an East Indian again. Like I said, a lot of them are so-called brown, but the many people in India. Then you should look at their clothing, these types. Then you should look at their clothing, dresses and stuff like that. Then you will start to notice a similarity, like, wait a minute, it's them. You know? But, yeah. So you just look up stuff, and I forgot the name of this people, and because there's a people that exactly have the same clothing as them, as these, and as these, and also as these, and they have the same clothing as the people of over here in India. It's kind of funny. But look at this, you know, which is disgusting that the guy is walking around like that. But you have these females that you know, they do these things. But anyway, so it's the same kind of thing that these people are wearing, you know. Yeah. So enough of that. I actually went too long looking at those things. Sorry about that. You know, maybe you're interested in these type of things. I don't know. I got carried away, so sorry about that. You know, because a lot of things that I'm interested in is kind of boring for a lot of people. But yeah, these are the type of people that are there in Kazakhstan, of Central Asia and stuff like that. I don't think they like you. You know, you should know that. Of course, not all 100% of them, but yeah. So you just know about it, and once we get that power, then we're gonna show them who's the real boss of the planet Earth, instead of Esau, you know. So, and instead of them, yeah. So let me see something what I'm forgetting. 2nd Esdras chapter 7 verse 10. And I said, it is so, Lord. So Esdras said that. Then said he unto me, even so also is Israel's portion, because for their sake I made the world. And when Adam transgressed my statutes, then was decreed that now is done. Which is the earth is cursed because of us. We broke the laws, and therefore the earth is cursed. Here, it's Isaiah? Yeah, here. Isaiah 24:1. Behold, Yahweh maketh the earth empty, and maketh it waste, and turneth it upside down, and scattereth abroad the inhabitants thereof. That's why everybody is all over the place, instead of in one nation, in one place. And it shall be, as with the people, so with the priest. As with the servant, so with his master. As with the maid, so with her mistress. As with the buyer, so with the seller. As with the lender, so with the borrower. As with the taker of usury, so the giver of usury to him. The land shall be utterly emptied and utterly spoiled. For Yahweh had spoken this word. The earth mourned and faded away. The world languished and faded away. The haughty people of the earth do languish. Yeah, we were proud actually, but the rest of the people that are proud, you're going to languish, which is basically diminish. Lose or lack fertility, grow weak. You're going to diminish. The earth is diminishing, is growing weaker and weaker. You know, back in the days, fruits were as big as basketballs. You know, that's one grape that could feed you for 2-3 days. One grape could just feed you for 2-3 days. You individually, yet alone your whole family with a whole box of grapes. Not a box, I mean like a truss. You know, I don't know how you call it, but one thing of grapes could feed your whole family, right? The earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof. Why? Because they have transgressed the laws. First and foremost, the Israelites transgressed the laws, and the heathen nations, they do it continually anyway. Changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant. Who is that? Only the Israelites, because they're the only one that got the everlasting covenant. And it's everlasting, but they still broke it. But it's still everlasting, so it's not going to hop up to another nation. It's going to stay within the nation of Jacob, because they wanted to hop over onto them. That's why Esau is trying to sneak himself all over in the place. He's trying to sneak himself as the Romans. He's trying to sneak himself as the Greeks. If you read the scriptures, the real Greeks are the Japhetic people. It says it right here. It says it right here. Joel chapter 3 verse. Sold unto the Grecians. Joel chapter 3 verse 6. The children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold unto the Grecians. Who did that? The Hamites. The Hamites did that, along with the Arabs. They sold us. To the Grecians they sold us, that ye might remove them far from their border. We are removed far from our border. We don't even know that we're Israelites. Our people think like we moved from Africa to here, to Europe and to America and stuff like that. Which is true to a certain degree, but your real borders are actually the land of Israel. Right, but here it says here too. This one is son, Bun, which is son, right? And this one is, guess what? Grecians. Ionia. Where is that? The Greek people, they say, right? So who are nowadays known as Turkey? So we were sold unto them, right? Let me see the tribes. Yeah, I want to show it. Let me see. The only people. Mainland Greece, yeah. But who was there? Well, Japhet was there in the beginning. That's why the Roman Empire had to go there to conquer it, because Japhet was here. And it shows you that here. Here. It shows you this. Look, the red is Japhet. They were there. They was also here in Tarshish. Well, other places they say that Tarshish is somewhere else, so they put the question mark there. Anyway, Yafan. Euro Yafan. Here, Euro Yafan. This. This is Javan. Ik ben geen Indo, maar een Javan. She says she's not an Indo, but she's a Japhite. Javan. You are Indo, but you don't know it. Just like how the Israelites say, oh, I'm not black, I'm an African. Oh, what? Okay. Which tribe are you from? I don't know. Just the continent Africa. They don't even know the continent. They don't even know that Africa is a continent. Did you know that a lot of people in America think that Jamaica is in Africa? Here, wait, let me see something. Why do people? I want to see videos. there are people that go around on the like on the street, and then they ask people like, so where do you think Africa is? Geographical. Let me see. Jamaican and African. Okay, cool. Yeah, you are right, but I know you doing it for the wrong reasons. You don't understand that you're an Israelite. You're not even a Jamaican. You big dummy. Because you came there, you dummy. They put you there, you dummy. What did Jamaica say about Africa? I'm trying to find the videos that no, what was this sucker saying? This guy's a fool. The scripture tells you like, hey, don't argue with people like this, man. He is funny though. I'll leave him. I'll just leave him, man. I'll leave him alone. But why do if I don't find it, then I'll leave it. It's in Africa. Yeah, I don't want that, man. You know, I'll just leave it then, because Jamaica is actually in North America, but they don't know that. What? Okay, I can't find it anyway. If I find it, I'll put it in the description box. But yeah, so these people are Japhet, and Indo is Indonesia, which is also Japhet, but they don't know that. They don't know that. Indonesia. They don't know that, people. These are Japhetic people too. Japhet. And yeah, but they don't know. Of course, you have the different skin color ones. You know, you almost every race has that nowadays. You know, so and you should know who to blame. And you found people. You know, you got these ones, and these ones think they're better than the darker ones. It's always a thick racism between. Also in India, you have it too. I bet you know what they call him, Kafri, which is basically a nigger. That's what these light skinned people call the dark Indian ones. They call them niggas. You know, they call them niggas. That's what they call them. And then a lot of times they use bleach and stuff like that. But some don't. Clearly, he doesn't do it. You know, so it's not all of them, of course. Just like our people, not all of our people there down there in South America use bleach, or else we would have been all white, you know. So, or all cursed. You know, I'll say that rather. But you basically here it says here Grecians, the Grecians, right? I clicked on this word. It says here we were sold unto the Grecians. Wait, where was it again? Let me see here. Hebrew 31:25 Grecians. Hebrew 31:25, Grecians, Ionians, which are Japhanite, descendant from Javan, Grecians. So, who are the real Grecians? Japhet. Japhet are the real Grecians, which is Japhan. And until this day, they call themselves Japhan. Japhan zijn meisjes. It says it. It said it right there. Which is this is girls actually. Japhan girls. These people. So it's them. So they're the real Grecians. Rome and Romeo and Rome and the other one. The boys. Romulus and Remus. These were two Japhetic people. They want to show you that it's Edomite. No, it's not. They, like I said, they always want to put themselves up in there. It's them. These two were Japhetic people. If I'm correct. Wait, let me see something. And also Pompey were also Japhetic people. They were Japhetic people because they was brown. There was brown skinned people. I don't want to show you too much because they have a lot of filthy Sodom and Gomorrah things on their things, on their wall. You know, I don't want to show that because yeah, of course I don't want to show that because it's filthy. A lot of penises and stuff like that. I don't want to see that shit, bro. But you had these people over there, and they was ruling there. There was a little baby Sodom and Gomorrah, so the Lord killed them. Doing all that filthy stuff over there. That's why the Romans got that same spirit. You know, but yeah. So the Heavenly Father gave us all this little, well, I don't want to say it's small, but it's small compared to the heathen nations. It is small compared to them. I mean, their empires were... Esau's empire is the whole world right now. You know? And he's fighting for the Middle East, and he finally kind of almost got it under the wraps. He kind of almost got it on the wraps. And yeah. So let me see before and after. Arab Spring. They don't want to show the photos anymore. Back in the days, Google was showing you what it looked like. But they changed that. Let me see here. Maybe this one still. Well, this is with Saddam Hussein, and this is after that they was done with it. Aleppo then and now in pictures. Yeah, here. So here, this is what it was first when Saddam was ruling, and this is what it was afterward. So clearly, they didn't do you good. But this is what they called the Arab Spring. These idiots thought they was liberated. Now they find themselves in a far more worse situation than it was when Saddam was ruling and also Gaddafi was ruling. You know, before and after Gaddafi. Let me see before and after. Yeah, maybe I should put that. Fucking doubles. They programmed Google in order for me to not be able to find these type of things very easy, like back in the days. All I had to, this is what would pop up if you typed in before and after Arab Spring. This would pop up. Sorry, this would pop up. This is in Iraq. The Arab Spring is here. This is the whole Arab Spring. Syria, Yemen, Libya, Iraq, Iraq, war children. And then they want you to send money for war children. Yeah, that's what they're doing. But yeah, Syria came on later, of course. Everybody knows that. But it's still the Arab Spring, what they call it. They call it the Arab Spring. Let me save these pictures. Oh yeah, this is the website that I'm looking for, that I was actually mentioning. Quora. I don't even know how to pronounce it. But you need to go there sometimes, and then you find out off of the people themselves as individuals. Because Google can say what they want, but when you look at what the people say, I'm going to show you a picture. Check this out. Right, look, this is what I mean. This is just one video picture that I took. What religion are Romas? Gypsies. Okay, so scroll up and stuff like that. I would assume our original religion was Hinduism since we came from India before while Islam took over the country. Right, because I was reading about it, and there was a war over there, and then the Islam thing came. That's why you have a lot of Islam people in India too, because they was raped into being Islam. But anyway, so these people ran, and then they started to lose their Hinduism stuff and stuff like that. Of course, they worship some kind of dark-skinned Madonna also. No, the goddess Kali. Yeah, right. Look like Madonna. That fake Madonna Caesar Bush, says. Right, so they came from this region over here, which is in the parts of India, and then they start to go there and all over the place, and even in America they are there too, and they're also in South America, of course, and they used to live like this. And when you look at it, you'd be like, yeah, I do remember these type of clothing of them. And then I scroll down. Then I went to this guy over here. It says it looked like an Edomite guy that said this, but this is the truth. Let's keep it simple and start with those folks who originated from in the Punjab of India and left ahead of the Muslim invasion, who are commonly called gypsies because they think it was from Egypt, and they were, but some people say they weren't. But I'm gonna show another thing. They are divided into numerous groups. The largest is Rome or Roma. At one point, Romi was the language they spoke. Lastly, the name Gypsy evolved from Egypt. When they arrived in Europe, when asked where they were from, they said Egypt, which eventually became Gypsy. That's what the word gypsy goes back to, Egypt. So, to all these things that you just find out, then you start learning, and then you can teach other people. But these are individual people that are saying these things themselves because they are of that race. Now it says here, okay, this person is asking stuff, and there was another one that I marked, which that woman was kind of irritated because they don't want to acknowledge the heritage of theirs. Let me see if I can find it. Indian gypsies, yeah, they come from Gypsy because, no, it's not a mistake. They did come from Egypt. See, this is what I mean with if you go to Google and stuff like that, because this is what the people used to say back in the days, and they are from the Punjab region, northern India and stuff like that. Nomadic people, they don't have places, they always have tents. And let me see something. Muslim invaders attacked Shinji and enslaved people. They were taken to Middle East, where they lost their religion, language, culture, some part of ethnicity, and history. That's exactly the truth. That's the truth. And that's why I say you need to listen to the people that this guy lives in India, so they know better, But you have people, you have also from Egypt, and they intermingled with each other. That's why some of them look kind of caucus, and some of them don't. And so religion, and then from there they move into Europe. Now would you ask why all Pakistani are not Hindu? Because their forefathers were enslaved by Muslim. You see, this is the truth. This is the truth, right? This is the truth. Okay, this one, and I think another one too. This one, I think. I'm not gonna make this too long. Like I said, I was just looking up stuff and stuff like that. Oh yeah, this is the one I'm looking for. Okay, after this I'm done. Hi, I'm a gypsy and I love India. India is my lost home because they know better. I adore everything about India, especially Rajasthan. Always the stan thing, whatever. And I'm glad that my people are from there. I'm obsessed with the culture, movies, music, women, and men. To be honest, I don't like when Roma people don't acknowledge Indian origin. That's the same thing that the Israelites are doing. They want to be Africans, or they want to be pan-Asiatic or pan-African, whatever, So they're doing it too. We are not from Israel. We have nothing to do with the Jews. And some of you are from there, you dumb, big dumb, but you don't know that part. Why? Because our people intermingled with them too. You have to understand a nigga. I don't even want to say it like that, I'm trying to be funny. But our people, the men of our nation, they stick their dingling in everything. They literally do it. And we do it, not they. We We literally do that, you know. And it's nothing about the black female, the other females are more submissive. The thing is, the Jake females in the 70s were feminine until they started to read into or get into the Edomite, his no man in the house policy, and then our men started to just leave and started finding heathen women, and we're not stable. And then Esau broke all that thing up, but it's the Most High that allowed him to do that. So anyways, yeah, because scriptures also needed to come to pass. He will leave his children, and then the wife shall hate her sons and her daughters, and that is exactly what's happened to us. And now it's their turn, because I see a lot of black Edomite females. They kill their kids, or the kids kill them, or they're single parenting, stuff like that. In the 80s and 90s, they used to make fun of our people because their family household were stable and ours wasn't, because by setup. But now their household is unstable. I'm laughing at that, bruh, because I see what's happening to them. The curses is jumping upon themselves. Right. We are not from Israel. We have nothing to do with the Jews, which is correct. But you have our people living in the had children with them also. So yeah. But what she's saying is the truth. We also aren't from Egypt, which is not the truth. We are Banjara. See, this is where another thing comes in. This is another group. You have the Punjab, and this is another group that speaks about this. So she speaks from her so-called perspective, but she don't know shit. First and foremost, these women are not deep. You know, they don't think further than their eyes can see. You need to listen to the men, especially the men in India, and especially the men that know history. You need to listen to them. Don't be listening to no chicks. They don't know what the fuck is going on, bro. They don't even know what type of men they like. You know, they fall for this one, and then they live with this one for a few years because he's rich and famous, and then here comes another dude, and they hop up on his dick. They don't know what the fuck they want, bro. You know, they don't know what they want. Not, you know, yeah. Not to say that 100% females of the planet Earth don't know what the hell they want, but I mean, look at the majority of the so-called black females. Do they know what they want? Have you seen their hair, man? Have you seen their hair? They don't stick to something that's original, man. You know, I don't even want to knock them anymore, because it's like, don't be cruel to stupid animals, you know. Why are you cruel to them? Because they deserve it? Yeah, to a certain degree they do, you know, but they're not stable, man. Satan can just come in and mess them up. He doesn't even have to do a lot of work. You know, all he has to do is bombard them on the television and show them pretty white chicks with the yellow hair and the red cheeks. You know? Here, another one says it. Do you think India support Gypsy or Roma people in Europe? My family moved from Europe to the USA. We are Romanical or Gypsy. I personally have always wondered, where did we start off? And I am light complected, but have been told my bone structure looks Indian, because you are from there. You are from there. You know? So some of them know, some of them don't know, just like how you have in the midst of us. Some of our people know that we're Israelites. Some of our people are fighting against it when you tell them. They call you a self-hating black man when you say, like, I'm not black. What are you talking about? You are black. And then I explain it to them. Some get it, and some they just don't get it. Yeah, but you hate yourself. How can I hate myself? I'm probably more pro-black than you. How's your girl's hair? Do you walk around with that? Aren't you supposed to be pro-black? So why don't you love yourself? You only pro-black. Man, you ain't pro-black in the back of your neck. How about that? I know you shave the back of your neck because you don't want that. You don't want that, what they call nappy, in the back of your neck. You don't want that. You want that straight wavy hair in the back of your neck, you know, nigga. So you ain't even pro-black, nigga. You the back of your neck ain't pro-black. It's just funny, man. It's just funny talking to certain of these people. Something. That's why I like Charleston White. He's funny, man. Coming up with some dumb stuff. He's just funny, man. He's an irritating person, I'll tell you that. But he has points, man, and it's funny. A lot of things that he says, I'm actually thinking like, yeah, I kind of think that way too. So it's funny what he says. But anyway, so what is the Lord going to do? Here we have all these little small. Wait, let me get this way. We have little small portions on the planet Earth. Meanwhile, they have like the whole planet Earth, and this is fair because we're gonna get the entire universe. Let me read that for you here. John chapter 14, verse 1. Let not your heart trouble. Ye believe in Yahweh, believe also in me, Yahushua. In my Father's house are many mansions, which are planets. And his house is this. Oops, this. This is his house, and it's never ending. You can't. I can't imagine that. I can imagine it, but I don't get it. How is this not stopping? It's perpetual. Oh man, I don't know. I don't know. I just don't know. You know, it's crazy. It's crazy if you think about it. In my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you that it wasn't so. You know? I go to prepare a place for you. And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you unto myself, that where I am, that ye may be also. And whither I go, ye know, and the way ye know. So where is it talking about? This. We're gonna go there. So they can have little things like this. They can have the world for now, because the world is gonna be ours eventually, and they can have this right about now. It don't matter. They can have this. They're borrowing it actually. Just like how in the time of Deuteronomy chapter 6, when the heathen nations built up their land and then later retook it because of their sins. Deuteronomy chapter 6 verse 10. And it shall be, when Yahweh thy power shall have brought thee into the land which he sware unto thy fathers, Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob, to give thee great and goodly cities which thou buildest not, and houses full of all good things which thou fillest not, and wells digged which thou diggest not, vineyards and olive trees which thou planted not, when thou shalt have eaten and be full. Right. So sure. We're gonna get this. We're gonna get it. They built it. We're gonna get it. How about that? It's gonna be a beautiful thing. We're just gonna take that. Take that. Diddy style. We're gonna take this, man. It's going to be fun. Now, if the Lord says burn it down, we burn it down, because we're gonna listen to Yahweh Bashem Yahshai. But if He says we can take it, then we take it. You know, because He already did it there in the book of Deuteronomy chapter 6. But if you read the book of Joshua and stuff like that, certain places we was allowed to keep and take it, and certain places we was not allowed to keep nor take it, anything of it, and then we had to burn it down. You know, so it depends on what the Lord says. If the Lord says you can take this, taking it. If He says you need to burn down this one, we burning it. It don't matter. They're gonna build something better for us anyway, so they're gonna have a lot of work to do. You're gonna need servants to maintain the land and maintain the house and stuff like that. And I don't like these pools anyway. I'm gonna burn it. It's getting out of here, man. We don't take no water with filthy chemicals up in there. We're gonna have real water, man. There's gonna be a stream too. You know, gonna have clean water that has air. What's the other word for it? Oxygen. Water with oxygen. This water doesn't have oxygen, man. You know, it's like water out of the faucet. It doesn't have oxygen. It's not living water. You know, living water really heals you. It really sets you good. If you keep on drinking that tap water, man, you don't know. You're going to get all kind of calcium in your body. You're going to get all kind of what you call that thing again? I know. Whatever, also. what is that thing again? I forgot. God, here. You gonna get all kind of crazy stuff, man. You got the calcium in your body and stuff like that, and it is a demon. That demon is put up in the water for you to drink it, and they made that demon black. But I think it was red first. But no. Back in the days, they used to make them black, them demons, them devils, because they call you the devil. Meanwhile, they're it. Demons. Anyway, so going back to over here. So we're gonna own planets. That's the point of me showing you this. We're gonna own planets. We're gonna go to the universe. So when you look at the little pew upon the planet Earth, that they have all these fancy places and stuff like that, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. You know? Because what was I showing? I had this for a reason. Anyway, I was talking about these places in space and stuff like that, and for example, they say that they've been to the moon, right? Okay, cool. They say they've been to the moon, right? And they've been to Mars and stuff like that, and they have this here, like this, for example, right? And look how funny this guy is, right? Funny. We know when you can spot a liar when they have to tell you that it's the truth. Check this out.
The images in this video are all real.
Really? Yeah, because there's a lot of people that are talking, they're telling them like, you're full of shit, you're liars, and all that type of stuff. Mars is the only planet with a population of robots, whatever. No water, no air to breathe, extremely low temperatures, just rocks, just yet fascinating in some strange way. This is Earth, man. This thing looks Photoshop, bruh. And the reason I'm putting this also is to laugh at them, to laugh, of course.
Taken by NASA's Mars rover directly from the surface of the planet.
For the eyes of the world.
Yeah, keep on lying to yourself, yo. Check this out. Here, check this out. What he's gonna say, funny.
To rise the hillside of Mount Sharp, the mountain it has been climbing for over 10 years.
So this little thing has been climbing a mountain for 10 years. and it's in a dusty place, right? Look at it. This is what they say. This thing is Photoshop, man. Can't you see it? You can't see it? I can spot it. It's easy. Anyway, this thing is all fake. But the funny part is, it's here for 10 years. Okay. So I'll go to Google and type in car that has been abandoned for 10 years. This is in a facility. You know what that means? That means that there's no sand there waving upon it, or how you call that? Just, with the wind and stuff like that, coming upon it with winds and stuff like that. Yeah, okay. And it's already dusty. Yeah, and this is in a closed environment. Abandoned barn. Find. It's in a barn, so it's closed up. Is there dust here? Yeah. Even if there isn't dust, there's gonna be. That's how dust works. It just floats in the air, and then it settles down somewhere. And if you leave it alone for a while, maybe 2-3 days, you will see dust. You'll be like, where the hell did that come from? Well, it's floating in the air. It's always in the air, always in the air. So how can this thing, you see, I'm just asking questions because I already know the answer, but I want you to ask those same questions too. Why is this so clean? It has been climbing a mountain for 10 years. That's a big mountain, man. Climbing a mountain for 10 years. How the hell is this thing gonna climb a mountain for 10 years? Have you seen a mountain, man? Huh? You can't even... What kind of maneuvers would you... Hey, bro, it's just these people are liars, man. Huh? Why are you believing these people? Finds a changing landscape. Yeah, whatever, dude. Yeah. First and foremost, y'all can't even get a signal when I go with a train under this thing over here. But you mean to tell me that you're gonna get a signal from there, and then it's gonna be able to send you 4K pictures. 4K. You can't even. You can't. Who is believing these people? Well, if you look at the comment, boy, you gonna. It may not happen in our lifetime, boy. You never gonna get there, boy. And there's 2,800 people that was like, yes, you're right. But I can't even begin to imagine what it will feel like for a person to walk on the surface of Mars and find a lost rover. There's nothing there. He's making jokes, by the way. It makes me sad to think I won't be here when it happens, but I'm glad to experience this. You're living in a live fantasy la la land. You probably got a Christmas tree in your house, praying for an Satan Claus to come down the chimney and touch one of your kids. My battery is low and I'm getting dark. I'm tearing up a little. That little rover performed its duty to the end. These images are soul stirring. Are they serious? I just want to know if they're serious or they're stupid, playing around stupidly. This generation is amazing. We can see Mars from YouTube. Yeah, right. This is Earth. They've been exposed by so many whistleblowers. I'll show you a few pictures. Wait. This is what they're doing. They're putting a red filter on it and then basically selling it to you. This is a picture in Egypt, a desert, and this is the same picture of Mars that they use, but they put a color on it. Come on, man. They know that the majority of the people on the planet Earth never been to Egypt, or to been to the deserts of Egypt, the deserts of Arabia, the deserts of all these other countries, and of the deserts of Ethiopia, all these places upon the planet Earth, you know, Central Africa, you know, you never been there, so they could do whatever they want. I mean, these do you know who you're dealing with, man? These are the Edomites, man. They speak in lies as soon as they be born. You need to believe the scriptures in order for you to see the damnation of these Edomites. You can see that this is filtered. You can see it. I look at it and
The rover covered over 28 miles or 45 kilometers.
Hey, boy, I keep on telling you little lies, boy. But anyway, they're faking it. You know, they're faking it. These things, they look clean as hell. You know, it's just all photoshopped, man. It's just fake. 10 years. So they got batteries that will last 10 years. Anyway, they got technology like that, but they're not gonna spend it on there because that thing is not real. It's all fake. So you have this Jake brother over here, and they only want to boast about him for the creation of the Super Soaker gun, which is this one. Black History Month. Then they're gonna teach you about the gun that he made. They're not gonna teach you about his actual history, which is this here, his legacy, which he's still alive. He's in his 60s, but the Lord caused it to where they didn't murder him or poison him, because that's what they do. For example, with all these people that create free energy, they're dead.
Lonnie Johnson is what you would call a prolific inventor. The engineer holds more than 100 patents, inspired to create ever since he was a child.
They're not talking. Why would they teach you about that anyway? Because there's a lot of videos that say like, they don't teach us this in Black History, or why don't they teach us this in school? Why would they? They're your enemy. They want to keep you as dumb as possible, stupid even, uninformed.
I was always curious about how things worked. I would take my siblings' toys apart to. Sometimes I put them back together. Sometimes I use parts to make something else totally different.
When he was a teenager, Johnson won an engineering contest with a robot he built while growing up in the segregated South.
We were the only black school represented, but Linux was such an impressive piece of work that we were able to walk away with first place.
Years later, as an engineer for NASA's Jet Propulsion Lab, Johnson helped design the Galileo mission to Jupiter and the Mars Observer projects. But
which they lied.
Johnson's biggest claim to fame was engineering this toy, the Super Soaker squirt gun. More than $1 billion in sales later, Johnson had the resources to work on his real life's mission, finding ways to power the world without polluting it.
That's because he's an Israelite. He really wants to do stuff, and that's why I believe the Heavenly Father also kept him alive and away from these devils. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked. They know about him, but they can't touch him because the Lord has not allowed him to be touched. Just like the Lord told Pontius Pilate, you have no power over me except the power that the Lord give you. He can't do anything if he doesn't say anything. To him belongeth the issues of death. So, what you gonna do? You can't do anything, man.
That was my strategy because I was having a lot of trouble getting investors or people.
I was having a lot of trouble getting investors or people
To support the research that I wanted to do in the hard science area.
The engineer started two companies.
In the
Research that I wanted to do in the hard science area.
in the hard science area. Area, is that right?
Engineer started two companies, located them in what was once a blighted Atlanta neighborhood, and hired fellow scientists to work on his mission.
We've done some things at the research level that a lot of people have predicted were impossible and could not work.
The devils always say it's impossible. There's no cure for cancer, and it's impossible. It just doesn't exist. Meanwhile, here comes Dr. Sebi, another fellow Israelite, and then destroys your shit. And then they make sure that all the evidence of that basically gets destroyed. No course, no court case, nothing. But it's still there. It's floating on the internet. But they sued him, and he brought over 70 people cured of AIDS, and their doctors was testifying to it. Like, yeah, this is my patient. I'm caucus. You have to believe me. This is my patient. This patient had AIDS, and all that type of stuff. So they had to be like, shit. We got other caucuses that also confirmed this. Damn it. How are we gonna swap this under the rug? If you check it now, it's gonna fact check you. Wait, let me see. Dr. Sebi. Found not guilty in fake healing case. Okay, that's one. That's two. I remember that they came up with the fact checks. Really? Oh, right here. Magic Johnson. Nobody said that. Sebi cured Magic Johnson of HIV, social media. That dude probably never had no AIDS, bro. It's all a setup to get that thing in your head. Because people, they can get sick off of their mind. You know? For example, I'm not saying that thing ain't real. What I'm saying is it wasn't as what they made it exaggerate. They exaggerated it, you know? Because think about it. When's the last time you heard anybody had AIDS nowadays? But just think about it. Like, don't get me wrong. The thing is real, but it's not as they were saying how exaggerated it was, especially in the 90s. They was really exaggerating it. You know, it was a small population of people that they set up and did things with. You know, I don't want to say too much, but there's plenty of evidence that shows you evidence. I hate that word. There's plenty of occasions and history facts. What Tuskegee syphilis experiment, man? What do you think they was doing? They was injecting our people with stuff, right? So it's not far fetched. All of a sudden, this thing just popped up out of nowhere. Nobody knew AIDS before this. It didn't exist. All of a sudden, the caucus has the power with his engineering and stuff, bioengineering and GMO engineering, whatever the hell he does, man. And then all of a sudden, poof, put two and two together. Who did it? That's one of the reasons why they're gonna get why they're not gonna be here anymore. How about that? How about that? Fifth cursed person confirmed in Germany has been cured of HIV. Okay, I didn't know that. Researchers are announcing that a 52-year-old man in Germany has been cured of HIV. Okay, I'm gonna read this later. I never knew about this. Why isn't this on the news being bombarded like how you see them stupid clips of Kim Kardashian has a new underwear on or has a newer hairdo? I mean, I saw that, man. This was news. Kim Kardashian dyed what? Kim Kardashian dyes hair platinum blonde again. What? And that's news? That's what I'm telling you, man. This is being bombarded all over the place, and I see it. And this, it's not being bombarded all over the place, or else I would have been seeing it, man. But they're nothing, cause Sebi, he brought 71 or 72, something with 70 people cured of AIDS in one day. He brought them all together in one day. But he didn't do it in one day, of course. He did it over a period of time. He cured them left and right. And now all of a sudden, these caucus coming up with the fifth. In 2023, they're coming up with the fifth. And in 2021, they say one naturally have been cured. Shows no sign of HIV. Well, if you understand the disease, then you know what to fix. It's your immune system. So you need to fix your immune system. But you need to fix the thing that is breaking your immune system. A lot of times it's diet. AIDS was curing more than a dozen patients claimed this incorrect. See? This is what I'm saying. There is no cure for AIDS. Yeah, that's what they're saying. Which timeline was this written? 2019. This is the truth.